Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you're doing fine wherever you are today. This is Eugene Talk Stories yet with another video. So, what are we talking about today? Today, we are going to look into anti-blackness in the Indian community. The Indian community has been so speculative, and people have been coming out talking about this issue, especially in the Indian community. Not just people, but Black Indians. We have different types of Indians. We have the Black Indians. We have generally the Black Indian is an umbrella term, but this subgroup we have the Siddis and large number of Indians who are endowed with melanin, because initially you know that slavery or slave trade is something which happened big. People are transported to different places, and in the contemporary society, especially where the Black Indians, they Indians with the melanin themselves, they find themselves in the middle of these other Indians. But that's just not that. They are complaining about the treatment that they are receiving from their fellow Indians. Yet the same people are treating other people who have a lighter skin than them. They are treating them better, even in front of them. So colorism is still a problem in the Indian community. And today's video, we're going to be talking about it. And just to spice it up or give you a context, I have a video that I want to share with you, and I hope that you get to learn from the videos and see what is really happening, because these are people who are sharing their sentiments in regards to this. I'm your host, Eugene Talk Stories, and if you're watching this video for the first time, you can consider subscribing to the channel, join the membership, and get to see what I can offer you. I feel like this is an important topic because we have a number of people complaining about this. Not in Guyana, not in Africa, not in America, not in India itself. People are complaining about the anti-blackness in the Indian community. So let's dive right into the video and get to understand what's really happening.
From one Indian to another, some of y'all totally deserve the racism that you experience. Do you know the number of times I've seen an Indian in Japan out in public and I smile at them and they look away? Or they just stare at me and give me the stink eye as if I've just assaulted them or something. Why do you feel compelled to be unpleasant to other people of your own race, but then expect other races to treat you properly? Because these are the same people that will literally bend over backwards and give all smiles and pleasantries to a white person. I just know that they're the same people. And to be honest, it's generally most Asians who do this, right? One time I went out to eat and we were waiting in line with one of my friends, and there was this Singaporean lady and her daughter in line, and I could very obviously tell that she's Singaporean because of her accent. Anyway, she starts a conversation with my friend who's a white American, and obviously she's born and bred in America now. She doesn't have even a single bit of Singaporeanness in her voice. And my friend's pretty much telling her about the program we're in. She's like, yeah, we're Jets, blah blah blah. And she goes, oh, I'm from Singapore. And my friend is like, no way, my friend is Singaporean. This lady looks at me, she goes, oh, okay, and continues talking to my friend as if she I don't exist. And then she proceeds to say, oh my god, you have to tell me all about how you got to Japan, because my daughter really wants to move to Japan. I applied through the Japanese embassy in Singapore as a Singaporean. If anything, you should be asking me. But you're pretending that I don't exist and actively engaging the white person. Why? This is literally why we got colonized. This is exactly why. It pisses me off. If you are a brown person and you see another brown person, it should just be code that you talk to them, right? And this Singaporean lady was Chinese, and look, Chinese Singaporeans were not very good to me on a good day in Singapore, so I don't expect them to be good to me in a foreign country. But as a brown person, where is your dignity? This shit with worshipping white people happens in my own family. That's the most disappointing thing. It happens with my extended family, not my parents, thank God, but my cousins and my aunts and uncles and stuff. It's honestly so disgusting. It's oh my god, where's your vekam mana sudusone?
Sometimes I still kind of struggle with accepting my skin color and my body, because I have a lot of hyperpigmentation, right? A lot of dark spots here and there. And when I was growing up in schools, I'm telling you, one of the saddest things, and I hope this is not happening anymore in schools, one of the saddest things that I used to hear is that Sakti, the fairer skinned Indians are always prettier than the darker skinned Indians. You're a dark skinned Indian, that means you must be poor, right? And the fair-skinned Indians are the richer ones, right? They live a better quality of life than you guys. Am I right? Therefore, when I was young, I used to literally hate my skin color because I was like, God, why am I dark-skinned? I hate this, you know? And at that point of time, I couldn't really find a lot of like makeup products also that suits my skin tone. I mean, now we have Fenty and all that. But yeah, I'm learning to accept myself for who I am.
These are beautiful black-skinned Indians. But why doesn't Bollywood cast black people in their movies? Bollywood does not even cast dark-skinned Indians in most of its movies. Sadly, not surprising, Africans don't appear in Bollywood movies, when Bollywood doesn't even represent the reality of India, which is a country filled with millions of dark-skinned people. Does this mean that Bollywood is racist? Let us know your thoughts in the comment below.
Was there a point of time in your life when you thought that I need to bleach my skin or whiten my skin?
Yeah, I thought many times.
No, Indians were not supposed to be fairer. India receives more than 250 sunny days. So vitamin D is directly absorbed by skin, hence more melanin content, hence the darker skin.
There was time when I was a teenage girl, I could see people girls who were fairer than me, you know, they were treated in a different way. You could see the school teachers or everyone as like, oh, she's so cute, she's so pretty. So that time we feel, okay, I want to be that person.
I've been bullied for my skin tone, and that too by my teachers. Yeah, one of my teacher bullied me. I mean, I was in class 3rd or 4th. I was just a child. I don't know that I have a dark tone and all.
My friends who are like a little darker than me, they sometimes feel that, you know, still that I should put tomato on my skin and this on my skin to become fair. So their self-confidence has been
in Desi communities, we are racist to our own people because we glorify the white skin. We glorify being fair and being bright, even though majority of us are brown. It's a part of our ethnicity. It's a part of our identity. All of the advertisements promote the idea that to be happy, to be beautiful, you need to be white. This racist ideology is like engraved in the Desi community.
This adorable little family represents a group in India known as the Siddis. The Siddis are Indians of African descent, and they arrived in India in various ways. Some arrived as early as the 1st century, coming freely as sailors and merchants from Africa to trade their wares in India. Others were brought as enslaved people by Arab and Portuguese traders starting in the 7th century to be laborers, guards, and members of the military. Interestingly enough, some of these enslaved people actually rose through the ranks and even became royalty or governors of their own city-states within India. Others fled from slavery and they built their own communities far away from the rest of the people deep within the forest. The most recent group of African people to arrive in India were actually brought in the 19th century to help to build the railroads. Today, it is estimated that at least 150,000 Siddhi people reside all across India. And despite the different ways in which they arrive from Africa, they have managed to preserve their African roots, particularly through music and dance. Life is not easy for the Siddhi people. Because they are darker complexion, they are seen as being one of the lowest castes in India, which of course comes with all kinds of marginalization, and many of them live in abject poverty. Some of the Siddhis have managed to obtain a certain status in India known as scheduled tribes, which means that they receive certain government benefits and protections. However, these benefits do not always get to the Siddhis, and many of them hope for more access to things like technology and education so that their future generations have a way out of the poverty, the day laboring, and things that they face currently.
And I think that we have to remember that we are not better than other people.
No.
We tend to be ethnocentric as humans, right? It's not just Indian people. And we also self-segregate, and we think our way is the right way, but our way is just the different way, right?
Yeah, and I think a part of that is probably to maintain tradition, maintain culture,
Yeah.
and that can be done by still, I mean, we live in America, and so people look different, and we need to learn about the people around us so we can be good community members, so we can be good neighbors. Things are just going to continue to change when we have children and whatnot, and want them to be going out into the world and like being good people.
One thing that I think that we can all do in the Indian community is explore our own biases and prejudices, right? Because if you're human, that means that you're prejudiced. It's not a bad or good thing. Everyone has biases and prejudices. And I'm pretty sure that if you're Malayali like us, like 99% chance that you've heard an auntie, uncle, friend, cousin say something that was anti-black, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so we all are, and we just have to take some time to explore why do we think like this?
Yeah.
Where did this come from, right? In order to be able to identify that a lot of this is subconscious. Like we are anti-black because we're just living in America, and America, it's again embedded in the fabric of this country. I think another thing is to use your privilege and power to be an advocate and ally for people that are more oppressed than you. So we are people of color, right? But we are a privileged group of color.
Yeah.
And so when you see or hear anti-blackness, anti-black racism, call it out. Because when you're silent, then you're standing on the side of the oppressor. We've had people in our Indian Malayali community that have been murdered, right?
Yeah.
Because they've been associated with terrorism, right? That's a horrible thing. But when we have to stop just working for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
We need to advocate for our South Asians and our Indian Malayali, even Kannada communities. But we have to also start being selfless and working for other groups so that we can all truly be equal.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, you and I have watched the video and you can learn something. And this is a reflective of what was happening in Africa, maybe in the past, or maybe if it's happening in Africa, it's happening a little, but not as much as in the past. Now, let me give you a short history about what was happening in Africa. I know probably you know, but for those who might not know. So when we had black people, Africans in general in Africa, when colonization was happening back in Africa, we had white people who came to Africa. When the white people came to Africa, they started entering into the villages. They started interacting with people positively and negatively, majorly negatively, forcing them to work, free labor, taking them to the squatters to live there and taking the good parts of Africa. Now, black people, Africans generally, were made to hate their skin color because the white person see to it that their color was better than that of a black person. And so some people went on to the pain of scrapping off their skin, spilling their blood just to be white. And this is something which is happening modernly. But today it's not forcefully, but this is aided by the media, which makes people see that having a lighter skin is something which is so important to them, just embracing their melanin. For me, I feel like having the melanin itself, it has some advantages. We have the black beauty. Of course, even light is beautiful. But see, there are some advantages associated with being having the dark skin. I know you might be thinking that I'm deviating from the topic which is happening, but they are connected. Now listen, how are they connected? They are connected in this way. Indians, especially black Indians who found themselves in the middle of this situation. You've heard the two ladies saying that they feel like they could just change their skin color, or they feel like they are not confident enough because of their skin color. And that's what the enemy did to the mind of also Africans during those days. That's what happened. And you understand that there are some roles you can't get because of your skin color. Look at the documentary, the situation which was happening in the documentary. How many black Indians are assigned to act in the Bollywood? That's a question you need to ask yourself. And we as a black people, we're just on the sidelines saying that, you are Indian, I'm black. Literally, they have melanin just like you. So we need to defend them. We need to speak for them because some of our ancestors breeded with them. And so literally, they are our own. They are our own. That's why we speak about them. We speak about them, and we want to understand the universality of having the melanin skin regardless of your ethnicity. The melanin skin is so important. And I would like to urge anybody who's watching this video who is really struggling, whether you're an Indian, whether you're generally a black person, whether you're a black Indian, or wherever you come from, as long as you have the melanin by yourself, this is what it means to you. You have certain advantages that people, if they know They just assume. And with time, with the global warming, the sun keeps coming down. And when the sun keeps coming down, it means that there are high chances in future for people to have skin diseases, increased in cancer levels, and exposure to the ultraviolet rays because of the ozone layer, because every day we are opening factories and these things are happening. So when you don't have a black skin, generally you might become extinct. If you think that I'm lying, go check this out. So to my black Indians who are going through this, I know colorism is an issue in the community, and some people goes to an extent they don't even want to have children. The parents of those other people who have lighter skin, they don't want them to engage with you because they'll get black babies. People don't just see the advantages that this comes with. They don't see. But I'm here to say this. Embrace the color of skin that you have. Remember, there is a person in the hospital who needs this. And maybe, just maybe, you have it. We just don't know the color of your skin, how much it costs. If you think that I'm lying, go check it out. What's happening in the United States? Black people, black women are missing. Why? There are suggestions that says that their melanin is worth expensive, and the power that it has, it is much expensive than any precious metal. So come think about it. When somebody hates you because somebody want to make you feel low because you have a darker complexity, try think about it and see things in a positive way. Don't try to bleach your skin. Don't try to do something. And I'm calling out also these people who are making these people feel bad about their skin color. That's not right at all. And we need to talk about this. And I understand that this topic, I might have talked about it in a micro scale, but generally what I wanted to do about this video is to advise these people who feel low for themselves that their skin is worth more than precious metal. That's one thing that I wanted you to know. That's the main point that I wanted to pass using this video. Because I've seen people, especially going through depression, especially when you find yourself, you're a marginalized group in this kind of an environment. Everyone keeps on reminding you of how dark you look. Some ladies you saw in the video, their self-esteem, their self-esteem is compromised because they are hanging out with lighter skinned people. And the notion at the back of their mind that having a lighter skin is much beautiful than having any other skin. I'm not trying to condone people who have a lighter skin. It's okay to have that, but you don't have to look down upon people who have darker skin. This is your presenter, Eugene Tech Stories. Tell me what you think about this video. If you liked it, kindly like, share with your family, share with any other person that you think it's important that they are struggling in the middle of this situation. You can always join my membership and get to see what I can offer you. And again, this is your presenter, Eugene Tech Stories. And let's meet in my next video. Until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.